Okay. How do I do this thing? I roll it around. Okay. My head is too tall. Here we go. Like that. Hi everyone, this is Rachel here, the Modern Shaman. Thanks for being with me for another YouTube Q&A video of the week. As always, if you haven't yet, I would encourage you to sign up for this channel, which is a subscription. Hit that notification button so you get notified every week when I update a new video on here. Also, if you'd like to send in your questions for this video channel, go to my website, which is themodernshaman.net. Go to the very end, which is a contact form. You can fill it out and just type in that it's a question for my YouTube channel. I love hearing from you guys. All right, so here's the question for this week. It says, "Hi Rachel, I watch your videos all the time and hold them very close to my heart and soul. I can never say enough good things about your channel. I've had this topic of self-esteem on my mind for a while now and would love it if you could make a YouTube video sharing some of your wisdom and what spirit might say about heightening one's self-esteem. I practice self-love and self-care often, but maybe you have some helpful tools or practices for self-esteem. I appreciate you all the time. Thank you for everything you do to love and encourage those around you." Awesome. So, the topic of self-esteem. Yes. I'm going to center into that and just ask that Spirit speak through me with wisdom and truth and some practical energy that would be helpful to you and to anyone else that's listening to this video. So my first thought about that is to get really clear about what it is that you're defining as self-esteem. Because humility is a beautiful energy. It's a very full, high vibrational energy. And it does not denigrate the self. It doesn't tear down one's own soul. Instead, humility is reverent and respectful and truthful and plain and open and clear. What we would call honesty, right? Of this is what I know about myself. This is also what I know about what I don't know. Not placing others all better than me. There's no comparative energy with humility, but there is a honesty to it that says, this is what I know, and I know there's so much I don't know. There's so much that I'm still curious about. There's so much that I'm still learning and working on. And this, my friend, is a beautiful energy to transition into. It has no comparison and it doesn't denigrate the self. I'm not where I should be. I did things I shouldn't do. There's no shame or guilt or negative belittling of the self in an energy of humility. So my first thought is to get clear about what it is that you're seeking when you're seeking to heighten your self-esteem. Because humility is a beautiful and reverent energy to uphold. It's fulfilling in a beautiful way. It gives to you, it doesn't take away. I love the energy of humility. And I love being in that energy. Oftentimes when I pray or I want to feel the energy of the cosmos, of the creator, of these large, expansive energies. I just want to get on my face. I want to lay flat on the floor in a posture of humility and awe and reverence and just like holiness to what feels like it's beyond and greater, and just this is a beautiful, beautiful energy. So this is something that you have access to now that doesn't have any comparison with it. And so my first piece of advice would be to encourage you to practice that energy, because it is very giving to the soul, nurturing to the soul, beautiful. It's like sitting in the presence of true beauty, of art that we have no way of truly comprehending. And we enjoy that, right? And we enjoy the awareness of the difference, or the differentiation between what that feels like and what we feel like. And it's not negative. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not angry at myself for the fact that I feel smaller than that of my creator. This can be a beautiful awareness because there's no judgment or guilt for your placement. All the energy is focused on that of awe and that of expansion. And essentially, you are imbuing yourself with that energy as well. So I would encourage you to invite in that energy of humility, which just has a beautiful reverence of plain truth. And kind of similar to what I said earlier, if you find yourself in a position of self-denigrating, talking bad about yourself, bullying yourself, first of all, stop. Let me bring in my mama bear. This is mean. This is flat out mean. And most of the time, we wouldn't even say the things to others that we say to ourselves, because we aren't a mean person. So stop being mean to yourself. Stop saying those things. And if you can't stop yourself, start reversing the pattern of language. So if you hear yourself in your head say, I'm fat, and you would never dare look at someone and go, you're fat. I mean, your heart wouldn't express that to another person. I mean, no. It's just flat out mean, right? And you would never dare express that to another person. We know better. Our own energy withholds the negative impact that those words would have. However, we don't always stop ourselves, or we don't have the practice or the habit of stopping ourselves from saying that inside of our head to ourselves. So when that happens, restart a new pattern. Okay, and I don't care if when you were a child, you had all these people denigrate you, you were abused verbally, you have a boyfriend that's abusive, whatever the experience is. Okay, now no matter how deep those trenches are in that negative talking, you can restart a pattern, because it's a simple choice, but it's a choice over and over and over and over again. But let it be a simple choice. Okay? Do you want that, A or B? Do you want to pick up this paper, or do you want to put it down? Like, let it be simple like that. All right? Do you want to think this thought or not? And when you think the thought, I'm fat, and I have people come in all the time with this kind of internal language, then you shift it into something that's true, but that has a positive energy to it, that's uplifting, that's not denigrating, that doesn't pull down and strip you and make you feel horrible. So I'm voluptuous, I'm sexy, I'm full, I'm vibrant, I'm shapely, I'm feminine, I am alive and fleshy, and it's just that energy that makes you want to cuddle and squeeze and hug all the energy out of something. I am all of that, right? And it feels freaking good. It feels like, yeah. And I can lean into that. And that is, and the energy holds true. I'm not faking that about myself. Those things are true. It's just a shift. And every time, if you hear yourself saying something negative like that, stop for a second. And it will take a minute to get a language that feels true, that doesn't feel fake to you. Okay? So practice that. And at the beginning, it may seem like maybe you need to write it down. Maybe you need to journal. and shift those negative thoughts and sit with a piece of paper and say, okay, these are my thoughts that I tend to go to when I think negatively about myself, when I strip myself of my self-esteem. I can't do it. Well, I can. I just have to do one thing at a time. Maybe I think to myself, I can't build my own website. Okay, I'm using a personal example because tech stuff like stresses me out. It overwhelms me, and I often feel incompetent when it comes to that. But if I can do one little thing, like, okay, I can open my computer and I can open this website builder and I can look at one little button and I can figure this thing out. Like, basically, I can do this one thing. All right, then I do that one thing and I feel good about myself and I let myself feel the energy of accomplishment of that one thing. All right, and now I do this one thing. And essentially, I'm scaffolding or kind of building a sense of esteem around something that I didn't think I could do. Okay, so if you're sitting down with a journal and you're coming up with something that you feel like breaks down your self-esteem, find a phrase that essentially shifts that energy, like polarizes the opposite energy. So it's the opposite phrase. So if I have something that says I can't do this, then I can do this. All right, and I can do this. Maybe this is simple. I can do this. Maybe whatever it is. If I use that example of the website, maybe I can email a friend for help, or I can look into this website builder and read about it. I can watch a YouTube video that explains to me and pause it step by step by step of how to do something. I'm not sure where your self-esteem issues come from, but wherever they come from, take it from there and repolarize. So shift from the negative energy of something into the positive statement of something. This is similar to affirmations, and it's a practice of reframing energy, okay? The way that you feel it into something that's felt from the opposite side. And the goal is not necessarily to have this big to be perfect. It's to have balance. And it's funny, I was gonna do a YouTube video, and I might later on, because I was thinking about when I was in Bali these last couple of weeks. I was doing this cooking class, and the chef was talking, and I can't even remember, we were talking about religion, and of course, like I am always asking these kind of questions, even though he's supposed to be helping us cook, and he was, but I just like started diving into these deep questions with him. And he said something very simply, but he said, we believe a little bit of good and a little bit of bad. This is the path. And I thought about that because it really hit me as profoundly just perfect, right? Like, wow, they figured something out here. It's not the striving for this achievement of perfection that I feel like the Western world has. That your self-esteem has to be on this monumental place. No one's is. No one's is. Right? This is why all the famous people, right, that we look to in all of the magazines that are all over the place as icons, they are so tortured inside so often because they're so far from this projected image that is put up of them. They don't feel that way about themselves, and they know it's a fallacy, right? Or they feel like a fraud. So many of them that's why they go to drugs and alcohol. I mean, it's just not true. And so my advice to you is in that kind of balance, a little bit of good and a little bit of bad. This is peace. This is the truth of what we look in when we see children in their innocence of playfulness, right? When there's a little bit of rebellion there. You don't have to be perfect, sweetheart. No one is. No one is. No one is. And that's actually good. In that is peace and balance and ease. And I would celebrate also the strong choices that you've made in your own sense of integrity. Because oftentimes self-esteem is our own judgment of where we line up to our morals or our ethics. So something we felt guilty about, like, I knew I shouldn't have done that and I did that, right? But hindsight's 20/20, honey. It always is. In that moment, you are living and you are being human and you are experiencing an experience, whatever that may be, of fear, of regret, of pleasure, remorse, right? And so when you celebrate, when you can look at things and say, you know what, I made this particular choice and I feel good about that choice. I really like that choice that I'm making. And it may not be monumental. It may not show up and give you big muscles, right? Maybe you're going for a walk instead of like hitting the gym and pumping all this iron and doing it. Maybe it's simple things, but that make you feel like, you know what, I meditated today and I wanted to, and nobody knows I did that, and I'm not out here posting it on social media. I enjoyed it and I wanted to do it and I did it. Maybe you went to an art museum and you were by yourself and you enjoyed your own contemplative time by yourself and you feel good about that. This is something I like about myself and I'm actually doing it. That's another piece of advice I would give you with your self-esteem. Remember who you are and do things that support those creative, unique aspects of yourself. Remembering who you are is just remembering the things that you like to do that make you you, and don't be lazy about them. We're all too often lazy and then we beat ourselves up about it in our head. Instead, do it. Maybe do a little bit of it, right? Let that, I have to be perfect. I have to, be hiking Mount Everest. No, you don't. No one is setting that up for you but you. So give yourself something that you feel good about. Notice it and enjoy it. Enjoy the fullness of that. Sometimes, I just like laying out if I have... I just like laying out in the sun, not doing anything and letting myself not do anything, letting my thoughts go where they are, where they want to go, not feeling like I have to restrict them or be in meditation or be in contemplation or be in, well, what should I do when, just letting my thoughts go where they want to go, no control over them, no end point for that moment. And then I let myself enjoy that. And I like that I do that. I like those things about myself that it doesn't matter to anyone else, but I let myself like it. And I let myself like myself because of it, right? You have those things. I don't know what they are for you, but they may be simple and beautiful. Maybe it's coloring. I think about, or drawing, or maybe it's painting, or maybe it's acting, or maybe it's, I don't know what it is for you. Dance, laughing. I think when you encourage those aspects that make you feel like you, and not so much working on the self-esteem, I hesitate to encourage you to work on it, because that makes us feel underneath everything that something's wrong with me, right? Something's wrong with me. I got to fix me. And so I don't really want to encourage that. I want to encourage instead the noticing of the amazing things in you and amplifying those, because they're there. They're absolutely there. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I hope that this video is a blessing to you and a benefit to you in some way, shape, or form. And just know that you are a marvelous being. I can feel that for you. And if you can feel that for others, you can feel that for yourself, because it's the same energy. So every time that you look at a child and you marvel at them, or you look at another person and you marvel at them, take a second and marvel at yourself. You're already in that vibration. Just turn the perspective onto you. Okay. I'm going to stop myself because I could go on and on about it. All right, love you guys. Be back here next week with another video.